Our May Rooster Booster here at the Owensboro Convention Center. So glad you are with us this morning. And to begin our program, we are going to start with our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. And to present our invocation this morning, please welcome to the podium Clay Ford.
Please pray with me. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the beautiful start to the spring and the opportunity to gather together as men and women of a great community that we are all blessed to live in. Thank you for the opportunity to share our ideas and learn about each other's businesses and the things that are important in each other's lives. Please help us to always look for civility and cooperation and compromise in everything that we do in our businesses and in our community. Please watch over those servicemen and women that are protecting us on a daily basis. And please help this food and bless it to the nourishment of our bodies. Thank you for all that you do, and watch over us and guide us through the rest of this week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You can remain standing for this morning's Mingle Minute. Each month here at Rooster Booster, if you're with us, you know this. If you're new, you don't. But we always plant among you a secret shaker. And our secret shaker this morning, by the way, the secret shaker always has prizes. The secret shaker this morning is Ruth Ann Mason from Tom Blue Furniture. Where are you, Ruth Ann? Whitney, come on up. We have something really fun for you. We have, it's applause for Whitney. We have for you, my dear, a gift basket from O.Z. Tyler Distillery, right?
Nice.
And there are actually some socks inside there. Those will warm you in case the bourbon doesn't, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
At this time, we would like to welcome the audience tuning in this morning via radio on WOMI Owensboro. That is 1490 AM and 99.1 FM. And we would like to recognize our brand new chamber members this month. And we'll begin with Audubon Area Community Care Clinic. It is committed to providing quality integrated health care and human services for vulnerable and homeless individuals and families here in the Green River area. They are a federally qualified health center funded through Health Resources and Service Administration, 330 Health Care for the Homeless grant. They provide health services, referral services, and supportive services to uninsured, underinsured, refugee, and medically underserved populations within the 7-county region of northwestern Kentucky. So please welcome Dana Wilson, Lamar McGuire, Vicki Poteet, and Lynn Swanson from Audubon Area Community Care Clinic. Burger Theory is located in the Holiday Inn Owensboro Riverfront Hotel, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they provide a lively, casual eating and drinking experience, focusing on specialty appetizers, gourmet burgers, mason jar desserts, let that sink in for a second, plus an extensive bourbon and bottled beer selection, in addition to 10 draft beers featuring regional craft selections. The restaurant has 10 televisions and the best outdoor dining view on the riverfront. And they have happy hour every day from 4 to 6 with half-price appetizers and $3 drafts. And kids eat free breakfast, lunch, dinner on Wednesdays with the adult meal purchase. So please welcome the Burger Theory team. The mission of the Davis County Diabetes Coalition is to improve the lives of people in Davis County that are affected by or at risk for diabetes, focusing in 4 key areas: advocacy, awareness, education, and support. The American Diabetes Association's Economic Cost of Diabetes report notes that 1 in every 4 healthcare dollars is incurred by someone with diagnosed diabetes, making it the most costly chronic illness in the United States. For more information on the Davis County Diabetes Coalition, you can call 270-852-5549. Please welcome Paul Puckett, Janice Barnett, and Merritt Bates Thomas with the Davis County Diabetes Coalition. Ginza is a Chinese and Japanese bistro located at 2601 West Parish Avenue here in town. It features traditional flavors of hibachi and sushi and Chinese foods at a very comfortable price. They also have lunch specials from $5.99. You can order by phone, and they have a convenient drive-thru. Ginza's open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. You can find and like them on Facebook. Please welcome Lynn Lee and Darren Montgomery from Ginza. Koger Properties is a family-owned business that began in 1992. They started out buying land for an office complex in which they rented offices to many small businesses throughout the years. Shortly after, they started buying houses to rent, and today they have over 40 rental homes, 3 office buildings, farmland, and self-storage units. Koger Properties is owned by Mike and Donna Koger, Jason Koger, and Holly Alexander. So please welcome Mike Koger and Koger Properties. Mr. Appliance is a neighborly company. It's North America's leading appliance repair franchise. They operate more than 150 locations throughout the United States. And Mr. Appliance provides customers full-service residential and light commercial appliance repair. Right here in our backyard, Mr. Appliance of Owensboro, a local appliance repair business, is owned by Tom and Sharon Johnson. They are thrilled to be serving this community. And the business opened March 5th, and they are excited to be members, brand new members, of the Chamber of Commerce. Please welcome Tom Johnson of Mr. Appliance of Owensboro. At Utopia Wellness Medispa, their mission is to provide innovative, personalized, top-quality services and products that help their clients look and feel their best. At Utopia, they offer professional skincare products that are scientifically proven to improve and maintain the appearance of youthful skin. They offer IPL treatments for hair removal and sun-damaged skin, sculpture body contouring, Femilift, microblading, facials, chemical peels, and several wellness retail products. You can stop by their location at 3110 Fairview Drive inside the building of Advanced Cardiology to visit Brandy and Dr. Rashawn Matthew, or you can call 270-228-4SPA. Please welcome Dr. Rashawn Matthew and Brandy Jessup with Utopia Wellness Medispa. At this time, we're going to recognize our elected officials and special guests with us today, and there are a bunch. So what we're going to do, thank you, dear, we're going to go through, and if you would, when I say your name, just please stand and we'll hold our applause to the end. Okay, so we have with us today from Congressman Brett Guthrie's office, Mark Lord. We have Kentucky State Senator Joe Bowen, Kentucky State Representative Suzanne Miles, Kentucky State Representative Matt Caslin, State Representative DJ Johnson. Mayor Tom Watson is with us today. Mayor Pro Tem Bob Glenn. Jailer Art Maglinger is here. City Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright. City Commissioner Larry Conder. City Commissioner Jay Vallada. County Commissioner Mike Koger. County Commissioner George Wathen. Circuit Court Clerk Susan Tierney. Sheriff Keith Kane. County Attorney Claude Porter. From Owensboro Public Schools, a couple of board members, Dan Griffith is here, Jeremy Edge as well. We also have Judge Executive and Grad Chairman Kelly Thurman from McLean County, Judge Executive Al Mattingly, of course, from Davis County, Judge Executive Brad Schneider from Henderson County, Judge Executive Jack McCaslin from Hancock County, Judge Executive David Johnson, Ohio County, Judge Executive Steve Henry from Webster County, Judge Executive Adam Onan from Union County, and former Chamber Board Chair Todd Inman is with us today, too. If you're not standing, you should run for office. I give everybody a round of applause for being with us today. And also want to take a couple of seconds to recognize some other special people with us today. Our friends from Junior Achievement are here. Normally we have students with us today, but they're testing and clearly they can't get out of school for that. But we have JA volunteers with us, so give them a round of applause for being here as well today. At this time, we would like to recognize our Ambassador of the Month. And from Helton Insurance Agency, put your hands together and give a big round of applause to our friend Michael Vanover. Michael, you are leaving here today with a $50 gift card to the Miller House. Right? Hey, buddy, how you doing? Michael looked at Candace and said, "Thanks, boss." All right, at this time, we're going to introduce our breakfast sponsor. So pleased to have him with us today. President and CEO of Visit Owensboro. Please welcome Mark Calitri.
Thanks for allowing us to sponsor today, and Candace, thank you for the chamber and your team. It's putting on an event like this is a pretty incredible undertaking. Last week I had the opportunity to speak with the Leadership Owensboro group and our future leaders, and we were discussing the word difference and what's that mean in business. And success lies in business will be your difference in how you differentiate yourself from your competitors, how you differentiate yourself from other people. And I think this has been a really transformational year for our CVB. And the key point of our difference is our people that we've associated with and brought on board. We have Laura Alexander from the Convention Center here. Thank you for all your hard work. But this has been a big year for us as we are collaborating more than ever before to drive business and groups into this building. And so all of Owensboro will win when that happens. Sometimes we also tend to forget that the road to success was paved by a lot of people before we got here. And so I'm really happy to have our former board chair, Rick Hopgood, here. And really excited to have two of our former directors that really served Owensboro and Davis County very well. We have Mr. Burley Phelan here. And also Miss Karen Miller Porter here as well. I want to recognize our board of directors as we've assembled a really good group of people who are committing a lot of time and effort to make Owensboro and Davis County a better place. We have Larry Kirk, Ruth Ann Dearness, Kyle Odd here in the front, Matthew McLeod, Tim Ross, Taylor DeVoe, Darshana Patel, and our fiscal court liaison, County Commissioner George Wathen. Ruth Ann couldn't be here today. She was opening a hotel in Lexington, so she's spreading the love elsewhere. Part of our difference is building a team that's alive and full of energy, and so with a partnership with Kentucky Wesleyan and Owensboro High School, we have three very energetic future leaders, and Nicholas Brake, our chief videographer, and we have high school Hannah Wilson, and college Hannah Slack. We also have on our team Jared Bratcher, and our new folks, Dave Kirk and Morgan Hildebrandt. We also have Judy Peters, and we refer to her as our Director of First Impressions. She's the person that most of the visitors are going to see when you come to Owensboro. And I thought it was really important. I wanted to read a letter, and we're talking about difference, and I wanted to read this letter that I'd received. Dear Judy, when Max and I came into the Visitors Bureau in Owensboro, we were so blessed you were there. God knew you were the perfect person to send to us. Your kindness and patience turned a really bad day into an experience with someone who showed how someone should handle a really frustrated couple. Your map got us back on the right track home. Thank you again for that. But even more, thank you for confirming there are still folks who have a great heart and share it with others. Right there is how we make the difference in Owensboro. And that's very important, so thank you, Judy, for that service. And then we'd like to show a video to show why you should care.
You know, many of us have spent most of our lives right here in Davis County. So why should you care about tourism? You want to have something to do, right? Tourism isn't just about attracting people to Owensboro to enjoy our amenities. It's also about a high quality of life for our own residents, like having great restaurants and signature attractions like O.Z. Tyler Distillery. And if you're in the service industry, well, tourism is your bread and butter. Did you know that over half the people that come here to Moonlight Barbecue aren't even from Owensboro? Really? Hey, thanks, Joy. The more money you bring in from tourists, well, the less money communities have to generate on their own. Last year in Davis County, tourism accounted for more than $300 million in revenue. That means that last year alone, Davis County households like you and me paid $853 less in state and local taxes, all because of tourism. But tourism is more competitive now than ever before. Not only do we have to compete against cities like Louisville and Lexington and even northern Kentucky, but even larger cities outside our state. We need your help. We need recruiters. You know, nobody can tell Owensboro's story better than you. And if you're a member of an organization or a group that has conferences, we want you to help us bring them to Owensboro. We're looking for the big fish. Owensboro is less than 200 miles from several major cities. Our hospitality, world-class convention center, and award-winning riverfront make it the perfect choice for conventions and conferences. Sports Illustrated named Owensboro the #1 city in Kentucky for tournaments and events. Barbecue, bourbon, and bluegrass. That's Owensboro. Call Visit Owensboro to schedule your next experience.
It is time for our monthly chamber update, and to present that, of course, our president and CEO, Candace Brake.
Good morning, everyone. I think I need to advance the slide. Before we start the chamber update today, I'd like to introduce and welcome a partner of ours, Charla Wells. She is the interim president and CEO of EDC. Charla, if you'd please stand. Charla, thank you so much, Charla. So we have a busy month, but an abbreviated chamber update. First of all, next week on Tuesday evening, starting at 3:30, there's going to be a ribbon cutting at Independence Bank for the Janet Reed Operations Center. And then after that, Independence Bank is hosting a chamber after hours from 4 to 6. So please make that the opening of our new Operations Center in the community. Leadership Owensboro's graduation is Thursday, May the 10th, and that's from 5 to 7. Everyone is invited. And I would like to now introduce the Leadership Owensboro graduating class. And if you would please stand when I introduce you, remain standing until the end. And also, we're going to announce the employers too, and thank you employers for investing in this program. It's an incredible piece where we take existing leaders and people who are interested in getting plugged in the community and show them some challenges that we have in Owensboro and help them plug in what their talents are to help us move forward. So with that, I'll introduce the class. Tara Bowling, Matthew 25 Aid Services. Lindsay Boone, Davis County Cooperative Extension Service. Stephen Caudill, U.S. Bank. Melissa Evans, Owensboro Metropolitan Planning and Zoning Commission. Rachel Faulkner, U.S. Bank Home Mortgage. Sherry Holtzmeyer, Estes Elementary. Sarah Fleshman, Ronnie Hancock, CPAs, PSC. Chris Gendek, Owensboro Courtyard Marriott. Karen Glenn, First Security Bank. Jacqueline Graves, Greater Owensboro Chamber of Commerce. Lauren Greenwell, Greenwell Capital Management. Will Higdon, Van Meter Insurance Group. Lori Hoagland, UniFirst Corporation. Sergeant Adam Johnston, the Owensboro Police Department. Dr. Jeremy Luckett, Vineyard Primary Care. Brooklyn Maple, Kentucky Legend. Brad Moore, Kentucky Wesleyan College. Tori Morgan, Envision Contractors, LLC. Brittany O'Brien, MPD Incorporated. Lauren Auschwitz, Brescia University. Amanda Owen, Puzzle Pieces, Harry Pedigo, St. Benedict's, Dan Reeves, U.S. Bank, Matthew Thompson, Owensboro Grain Company, Scott Tucker, Independence Bank, Lee Underwood, Mario Vizuet, Old National Bank, Aaron Waller, Davis County Public Library, Detective Brad Youngman, the Davis County Sheriff's Office, and Emily Zogelman, a little bit sassy. Congratulations, you all have been a fantastic class to work with. And I'd also like to ask everyone in the audience that's a graduate of Leadership Owensboro if you would please stand. Please make it to that graduation. It's a great event. It's a kickoff for what's yet to come for this class. And we'd also like to introduce today the Wendell H. Ford Government Education Center seniors who are here with us, who got out of bed early to come join us. If you all would please stand. These seniors are going to be the next Chamber Young Professionals and the next Leadership Owensboro group one of these days, and we're so happy that you all have done this program, and thanks to the Ford family for making this possible. Saturday, May the 12th, United Way has asked that we announce this. This is the day where the community can help stamp out hunger. You leave non-perishable foods on your doorstep or at your business in a bag, and your mail carrier will pick it up. All the donations remain local, but it's to help hungry people, children, seniors in our community so that they're not hungry. Thank you for doing that. The ribbon cuttings this month. We have Utopia Wellness Medispa today at 12:15. Independence Bank Operations Center ribbon cutting next week. Ginza is May the 9th. Active Day, May 16th. Burger Theory, May 18th at 4. And State Farm Insurance with Ryan Vincent is May the 23rd. Your chamber matters are at your place. We ask you that you look at those and think about the renewals that are doing business with these people who are investing in our community. If you are here today and you're not a member of the Chamber of Commerce, these people in our community are not only a member for the networking opportunity, they're here and we pool our resources and the investment so this chamber can move forward our community with programs like Leadership Owensboro and the talent retention things that we do. So we ask for you to consider joining, and if you are a member, thank you so much in investing in the future of Greater Owensboro. Let's give a round of applause to those renewals. And John Conti, thank you for being here bright and early. You get us going. Thank you all very much. And Secretary Chao, we're so happy to have you here. Okay. I did, that's right.
To introduce our guest speaker today, please welcome our board chair, Bart Darrell.
Good morning. Before we're back here again, you know, there's this race, I think, on Saturday. Is that right? In the largest circular facility in the Commonwealth. So get your bets down before Saturday afternoon. But more important, the following week is Mother's Day. Don't forget Mother's Day. It is a great honor for our community to have back again Secretary Elaine Chao. Secretary Chao currently serves as the 18th U.S. Secretary of Transportation. This is her second cabinet position. Previously, she served as United States Secretary of Labor from 2001 to 2009, becoming the first Asian American woman to be appointed to the President's Cabinet in American history. An immigrant who arrived in America speaking no English, Secretary Chao has devoted her professional career to ensuring that others can access career opportunities to build better lives for themselves and for their families. Her distinguished career in the public, private, and nonprofit sectors includes serving as President and CEO of the United Way of America, Director of the Peace Corps, Deputy U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Chairman of the Federal Maritime Commission, and Deputy Maritime Administrator in the U.S. Department of Transportation. She has also worked in the private sector as a transportation banker. Secretary Chao earned her MBA from Harvard Business School and her economics degree from Mount Holyoke College. The recipient of 36 honorary degrees, one of which is from Kentucky Wesleyan. She is the eldest of 6 daughters of Dr. James S.C. Chao and Miss Ruth Mulan Chu Chao. Secretary Chao lives in Kentucky with her husband, the Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Mitch McConnell, who is no stranger to Owensboro, of course. And she is the only woman from Kentucky to ever have served in the President's Cabinet. And I also just want to say thank you on behalf of our community for all of the things you have done for transportation. As you know, Secretary Chao, transportation for communities, particularly our size, it's one of the lifebloods. And we know all that you have done, particularly our most recent grant for our transit system, so we want to thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed my honor to present to you Secretary Elaine Chao.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, President Darrell. You're all very, very nice to listen to all of that. As President Darrell was going through my resume, I was thinking to myself, these people are going to think I can't hold a job. But congratulations to Kentucky Wesleyan University and your leadership. Congratulations on being named number 5 on the list of top 10 regional universities in the South. That is quite an accomplishment. And Candace, I love to see women at leadership positions, so thank you for being a role model to so many of our young people. I also see Mayor Watson. Do you know what he did? He pigeonholed me here for a project. A transportation project right in this community. So, Mayor, you're always on top of things. We are listening. And then also, I loved seeing all these government leaders here. This is what democracy is all about. Thank you for caring about our Commonwealth and our community, that you show up at 7:30 in the morning. And then, of course, I see all these young people. Leadership Kentucky, and all these other young people that we have here. And we also have Clay Ford and the Wendell Ford Government Education Center students as well. I'm just so warmed by the fact that this community helps so many young people understand and engage in community affairs so that they can become better leaders, not only for this community, but for our Commonwealth and for our country as well. So I think you ought to give yourself a great round of applause. And I have to say, it is great to be home. Now, Mitch has been in the Commonwealth this past week because it was Senate recess, and I just barely had time to say hello to him after landing in Louisville yesterday afternoon, dropping my stuff off at our home before driving to Owensboro. He, of course, sends his very, very best. You know how hard he works for our Commonwealth. You know, some people take a bus to go to work. Well, Mitch and I just take a plane to go to work. Kentucky is our home. And I just feel so grounded whenever I'm here. And I can see Mitch also. So, as you can suspect, I am accompanied by a team of Department of Transportation colleagues. And so when we landed, I told them, welcome to God's country. I love the McConnell Plaza. It is beautiful. But best of all, I hear that it's a really popular gathering place for residents. And that's what it's all about, connecting all of us together as a community. And speaking about residents of this community, I want to acknowledge the presence of one of your own, your native son, Todd Inman. Todd is Director of Operations at the U.S. Department of Transportation, and he's doing a fabulous job, and let me tell you how. How many of you have heard or watched on television last March 30th, 2017, the I-85 bridge in Atlanta, Georgia? It was caught on fire and it collapsed. Well, thanks in part to Todd's hard work, the president has complimented the department on rebuilding I-85 bridge in 7 weeks, under budget and ahead of schedule. And during hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria. Todd helped to lead the department in responding to the rebuilding of the devastated areas. So Todd, in front of your neighbors and your friends, and most of all your community, I want to thank you for your service to our country. So let me tell you a little bit about the Department of Transportation. It's actually one of the medium-sized departments. It's only got about 55,000 employees, 44 of which are in FAA, 33,000 are in air traffic control, and 15,000 air traffic controllers. First and foremost, the department is an operating agency. We run the air traffic control system in the country, and we regulate safety across all the modes, except for the Maritime Administration. That's a promotional agency. But the budget, and that's your tax dollars, so you need to know, is $77 billion. There are 9 different modes of transportation. And in this age of intermodalism, it's more important than ever that all these different modes work together to provide a safe and integrated transportation system for people and for freight. So here are my 3 priorities for the department. 1, safety. Safety must always be number 1. And it's a good day for our department when nothing bad happens. Number 2, infrastructure. The president has spoken often about the need to rebuild and repair our aging infrastructure. And number 3, our department has a very important role to play in preparing for the future by engaging with emerging technologies such as autonomous vehicles, drones, Hyperloop. The challenge for us as regulators is to protect safety while not hampering innovation, which is such a hallmark of our country. Our ingenuity, our creativity is part of America's global competitiveness. So let me talk a little bit about infrastructure. On February 12, 2018, the President sent to the Congress his infrastructure bill. It includes 16 different federal agencies and addresses not only transportation, but water, energy, broadband, and medical care through VA hospitals. This proposal calls for at least $1.5 trillion in infrastructure, all these infrastructure investments, including a minimum of $200 billion in direct federal funding. This leveraging effect of going from $200 billion to $1.5 trillion is very commonly done in many infrastructure projects across the world. In fact, Great Britain and Australia are champions in tapping the private sector to participate and partner in public infrastructure financings. We hear from so many private sector entities who are enthusiastic and eager to participate in the funding of public infrastructure. For example, a lot of pension funds. When you give your pensions to a pension fund, they have to do something with that money. They can't just let it sit there. So they're always looking for good, safe, conservative investments in which the collateral will not walk away. Well, in public infrastructure, the bridge or the highway is a collateral that will not walk away. So this initiative allows other sources of funding, including state, local, and private sector resources, to help address the needs of our country so that America can remain globally competitive. In 2017, the Kentucky legislature allowed some private investment in infrastructure. That's very positive because we should not discriminate against the private sector and disallow them from investing in public infrastructure. The country's infrastructure needs are so important, but it cannot be met by the federal government alone. Spending and borrowing such massive amounts would crowd out investments in the private sector, hindering growth and job creation. But the President's infrastructure initiative is about so much more than just resources. The proposal also includes numerous provisions that will help deliver infrastructure much more quickly by removing unnecessary and overly burdensome red tape. So to jumpstart the process, the President gathered all the relevant cabinet departments on April 9th, just recently, in the Oval Office, as he signed an agreement to speed up the construction and the permitting which allows the constructions to occur. It's called One Federal Decision, and this mandate requires all the government agencies to work together to process reviews for major infrastructure projects more quickly. Now, currently, as some of you may know, this process can take years, if not decades. We need to reduce the permitting process, the permitting time, so that needed roads, bridges, and other infrastructure like energy infrastructure, the grid, can be built. So, for example, I was in Alaska last August 7th, 2017, and I had the great pleasure of announcing that the permitting for the Sterling Highway has finally been granted by the Department of the Interior, not me, the Interior Department, because they get involved. The Army Corps of Engineers that gets involved. I cannot imagine the agencies that get involved. This permitting for the Sterling Highway only took 35 years. True story. This administration is also committed to regulatory reform that will reduce unnecessary burdens on job creators, employers, and bring about real change in safety, innovation, and infrastructure. One of the reasons for the slow growth in our economy the previous 8 years is the weight of the government regulations on the private sector, weighing down employers, making them unable to grow and hire more people and create more jobs. In the previous 8 years, the Department of Transportation alone was issuing regulations to the tune of $3 billion a year. Now, this is just one department. Imagine every department in the executive branch was churning out regulations that stymied economic growth and job creation. And that's why in the last year, with what the departments are doing, the stock market is rallying, the economy is doing well, economic growth is increasing. And so in 2017, the first year of this administration, the costs associated with new Department of Transportation regulations were minus $312 million. And we're on track to reduce the regulatory cost by minus $500 million in 2018. And this is all being done without compromising safety or the environment, both very important issues that we all care about. But in fact, reducing the unnecessary regulations frees up more time to work on the rules that can make a real positive impact on safety and the environment. Another key element of the proposal is to empower decision-making at the state and local level, because you know best the infrastructure needs of your own community. You don't need us to come down and tell you what you need. And so I think we're seeing good results. The department has worked with you and the Chamber of Commerce to secure a new interstate marking sign on I-64 in Indiana. You've all seen this, right? You know what I'm talking about. If you were in Indiana before, you couldn't get to Owensboro because there was no sign. So again, Todd Inman deserves a lot of credit. So we now have a new interstate marking sign on I-64 in Indiana showing the way to Owensboro so that we can increase tourism like that film said, right? And as you know, there are other projects as well, including upgrading 70 miles of I-165 to interstate standards, as well as converting I-69 spur and I-169. And in addition, last year the department, under our administration, awarded nearly $400,000 to Kentucky to help local communities handle hazardous materials safely and effectively. And Owensboro received a portion of these funds. These grants have helped to train 36 students as first responders, including what to do in the event of a hazmat accident. The city of Owensboro will also be receiving nearly $700,000. Okay, if you want to know the exact amount, $677,406 for replacement buses, as was mentioned, to upgrade the aging fleet and increase safety and reliability. So that's great. Because as Owensboro experiences population growth, the city is preparing for increased transit ridership. That's the forward thinking for which you are known. Now, let me also mention one other topic. Our country is on the cusp of a transportation revolution. New technologies could transform the way we travel and connect with one another. Autonomous or self-driving vehicles, cars, buses, trains, drones, and other transportation innovations have the potential to improve safety by addressing human error, which is a factor in 94% of traffic fatalities. And they can also help increase access to transportation for underserved communities, including the elderly and people with disabilities, giving them back their mobility, their freedom, their dignity. But as you may know, there are also real concerns over these technologies regarding safety, security, and privacy. Many are also worried that this technology will have an impact adversely on the workforce. And as a former Secretary of Labor, the dislocation of workers by technology concerns me deeply. New technologies will create jobs, I'm confident of that. But the transition period can be very difficult for dislocated workers. So this social need needs to be addressed, and we need to help workers adapt to a new world of emerging technologies. So the department has become very involved with AV technologies, and we issued the voluntary guidelines, AV 2.0. It's called A Vision for Safety, last September. This supersedes the previous version, which was issued in September of 2016. Technology is changing so rapidly. The work is already underway for A Vision for Safety, AV 3.0. We hope to release this report early summer, and this new AV guidelines will also be multimodal and include various surface transportation systems, such as I mentioned, mass transit, rail, and trucking. And now, another new technology, drones. Drone technology is also changing the aviation industry. Companies are increasingly interested in adopting them for all kinds of commercial and humanitarian applications. During the hurricanes, during the recovery operations, the department worked overtime to issue waivers so that drones can be used to assess damages to homes and properties that human beings can't get to, and inspect power lines and other infrastructure. And on January 20th, a major milestone was reached with more than 1 million drones registered in the United States. And there's been a significant number in the number of there's been a significant increase in the number of drone pilots, with more than 75,000 people who are now certified to conduct commercial operations. This is a new job description, didn't exist 2 years ago. And that's why the department has launched a new drone pilot program that, like the infrastructure, is oriented to state and local government. This program will accelerate the safe integration of unmanned aircraft into our national airspace. Our airspace is already so crowded. How will we integrate safely all these new drones, unmanned aircrafts? And we want to do so by creating partnerships between the state and local government, the department, and the private sector. By 2020, our national airspace will have over 1 billion travelers, passengers, and how to integrate increasing drone activity into this airspace will be one of our greatest challenges as well. So the department's approach to all of this new technology that's coming up will be, one, technology neutral. We are not the font of all wisdom. So we want to make sure that we are not favoring one technology over another because we can't see the future. We will not be top-down, command and control. It's important for policymakers, again, to foster an environment that promotes safety without hampering innovation. So you all have been so kind in listening so quietly. I am so honored and so humbled to be here to share some just updates on what's happening in your Department of Transportations. This government, our administration, our government is your government. Our budget is your tax dollars. And we want you to be involved and know what your government is up to. So thank you so much for letting me share some thoughts with you about what the department is doing, what this administration is doing to help Kentucky and all communities across America to strengthen safety, invest in infrastructure, and prepare for the future. And thank you so much for letting me come home. Thank you.
Secretary Chao. Can I just say that I love my career in radio, 20 years and counting, but I want to be a drone pilot so bad I can't even see straight. I'm going to change my name to Elroy Jetson. It's going to happen. Seriously. So obviously Saturday, huge event here in Kentucky, the Run for the Roses, the Kentucky Derby, and we're going to celebrate this morning with some Kentucky Derby trivia. All right, so Ruth Ann Mason, we already gave Whitney a big old gift basket from OZ Tyler Distillery. Who was the first person you shook hands with this morning? Ruth, it was like 45 minutes ago. Pick somebody you shook hands with. Pick somebody that you shook hands with. Oh, she really can't remember. Prayers for Ruth Ann Mason, everybody. Who is it? Who'd you choose? Rhonda, stand on up, my dear. Stand on up. Okay, on the board we have your Kentucky Derby trivia question, and I'm sure that you can phone a friend or two, or 400. Okay, who was the last filly to win the Kentucky Derby? Was it A, Regret, B, Winning Colors, C, Seabiscuit, or D, Genuine Risk? Oh, the chamber's not playing with these questions. That is not easy.
I know, it's Jessica.
Jessica Kirk, everybody. You can blame her. She's right there laughing maniacally in the doorway. Who was the last filly to win the Kentucky Derby? All right, A, Regret, B, Winning Colors, C, Seabiscuit, or D, Genuine Risk? Do you have any idea? Audience, you want to help?
Just make it up. Just give her the prize.
There are so many voices in my head right now. What do you think? She says Seabiscuit. She meant B, which is Winning Colors. And is that the correct answer?
All right.
For being a complete disaster at Kentucky Derby trivia, you've won passes to Romp, right? And you've won a flask. County Attorney Claude Porter, just turn the other way, okay? This doesn't involve you. And you've won a shirt from Visit Owensboro. How about that? So look at that.
Wow. Thank you.
Now turn around and thank all the people whose answers you ignored, okay? Okay, so Candace mentioned the students with us today from the Wendell Ford Government Education Center. So students, who among you is like a trivia genius? Okay, well, not all at once. Jacqueline Gesser, they're pointing at you. Hello, sunshine, good morning. Okay, so we have a trivia question for you on the board. How many Kentucky Derby winners, this is a good one, have gone on to win the Triple Crown? Is it A11, B14, C9, D12, or E, Jessica Kirk is evil?
Yeah. Yell at Nick.
No. D, Jackie. D.
Oh, for crying out loud. D. D, Jackie. D is correct. Nicholas, that was great. Way to be. And by the way, you should change your middle name to Hannah so you can be a Hannah too in the office. I mean, good Lord, there's so many Hannahs in that office. You've won some beats. Right? Oh, yes. Presented by T-Mobile, sponsored by Ely Wireless. It's awesome. There you go, right? Oh, you got a shirt too. From Visit Owensboro. To close today, we have a very special presentation. As you all know, at the Kentucky Derby, one of the big traditions is the performance of My Old Kentucky Home. And we're going to do that same thing here today as rain starts barreling down from the heavens. We'll run valet to your cars, don't worry. To sing My Old Kentucky Home, the lovely and talented Jacqueline Graves. And please stand. We're going to sing this song together.
What is a congregational hymn? The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in their bloom, while the birds make music all the day. The young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy, all bright. By and by hard times come a-knocking on their door, in my old Kentucky home. Good night. I know y'all know this part. Weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, my old Kentucky home. Far away. You ready for the Derby?
Jacqueline? The only girl I know who can make a Drake song sound country. That is Jacqueline Graves, everybody. You all, thank you for coming to Rooster Booster. We'll see you next month. Enjoy the day.